July 12 portal. Your thoughts become reality under this full moon on this sacred night of July 12. Beneath the glowing power of the full moon, a portal swings wide open, not in the sky, but within you. The cosmos does not command you. It reflects you. The veil between thought and thing, between desire and manifestation, is thinner now than ever. This moonlight does not simply illuminate the outer world. It reveals the inner workings of your mind, magnifying your beliefs, emotions, and assumptions into form. What you accept as true within, even if unseen, is destined to become your outer reality. This is not magic, it is law. You are not here to wish for change. You are here to awaken to the truth that your imagination is divine and your word is power. This is the hour to stop waiting and start embodying. The universe is not asking you to beg. It is inviting you to become. Your thoughts are not just fleeting. They are blueprints. As you think, so you become, and under this moon the becoming accelerates. The question is no longer what will happen to me, but what am I choosing to create with the authority of my consciousness? Consciousness is the only reality, the power you hold under the July 12 full moon. There is one truth that transcends time, one law more powerful than any force of nature, and it is this: consciousness is the only reality. Everything you touch, experience, desire, or fear originates from one place and one place only, your own awareness. Under the radiant brilliance of this July 12 full moon, this truth does not just whisper to you, it shouts. The energy now is not passive, it is pressing you to awaken. You are not the victim of circumstance, you are the cause of it. The external world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Every event, every person, every condition in your life is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the state of your consciousness. This is not poetic, it is literal. And tonight, the veil between mind and matter thins to such a degree that your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states are no longer slow seeds waiting to bloom. They are fast, moving blueprints ready to harden into form. You must understand that what you think with intention and what you accept with emotion becomes the very foundation of your life. If your mind is full of fear, delay, doubt, and unworthiness, your world will echo those frequencies. But if you rise inwardly, if you claim peace, abundance, love, and power within yourself, life will have no choice but to conform. The July 12 portal is not merely an astrological shift. It is a vibrational call to become conscious of what you are conscious of. You are always creating whether you realize it or not. You are always selecting realities, whether by design or by default. The question now is, what are you selecting? What assumptions have you accepted as final? Are you living in the truth of your divine authorship, or are you merely reacting to old scripts that no longer serve you? The full moon shines to show you where your inner dialogue has been out of alignment with your divine potential. This is your opportunity to observe without judgment and to choose again. Your circumstances are not fixed, they are fluid. They bend to the movement of your inner state. Life will never rise higher than the self-concept you hold within. If you see yourself as a struggler, you will continue to struggle. But if you now decide to see yourself as powerful, chosen, favored, and destined, you begin to command the world instead of being commanded by it. This moon does not grant wishes, it amplifies truths, and the greatest truth is that your inner world creates your outer one. Look around you. Every friend, enemy, dollar, sickness, blessing, delay, and opportunity is the outer echo of your most repeated internal convictions. The world is not punishing you, it is reflecting you. Under this full moon, your awareness becomes a mighty projector, casting out into form everything it holds within. If you dwell on lack, you manifest more lack. If you rehearse betrayal, you summon more betrayals. But if you dare to enter the state of abundance and trust, regardless of outer evidence, you begin to move the unseen forces of creation in your favor. You begin to take back your authority. You shift from wishing to commanding, from hoping to knowing. Tonight is not the time to shrink. It is not the time to play small. This portal demands that you become radically honest about the world you have unconsciously accepted as real. Have you been waiting for things to change so that you can feel better? Or are you now ready to feel the truth within and thus cause the change without? The power of this moon lies in its ability to awaken you, not to something new, but to something eternal. You have always been the creator, but now, with the energy at its peak, the manifestations arrive faster, the illusions crumble quicker, the untrue identities dissolve. You are being stripped of anything in your consciousness that contradicts your higher self. This is not punishment, it is purification, and in this purification a sacred invitation arises. Who do you now choose to be? Stop clinging to old stories. Stop defending your limitations. Stop saying, "I am waiting for the right time," because this is the right time. This moonlight is a mirror. What are you willing to see? It reflects not just your surface-level affirmations, but your deep-rooted beliefs. If you say, "I am abundant," but secretly feel unworthy, your results will reveal the feeling, not the words. This portal asks for alignment, not performance. It asks that you no longer pretend but embody. You must begin to dwell in the state of your desired life as if it is real right now, not because you're delusional, but because you understand that the inner must precede the outer. Every future outcome is simply a photograph of your current state of consciousness. The more vivid, consistent, and emotionally true that inner state becomes, the faster it externalizes. So, as the July 12 full moon shines overhead, let it also shine within. Let it expose the thoughts you have idolized, the feelings you have repeated, the assumptions you have worshipped. Then ask yourself, do these belong to the person I am becoming, or are they leftovers from an identity I have outgrown? Consciousness is not something you access, it is what you are. You are the awareness that chooses, the observer that assigns meaning, the consciousness that commands, and the greatest deception is thinking that you have no power, when in truth you have always had it. You were never meant to react, you were meant to create. You were never meant to beg, you were meant to believe. Every time you enter a new state of being, the world obeys. Every time you choose the end you desire and live from it, the middle will rearrange. You do not need to know how. The how is not your job. Your job is to assume, persist, and trust. As this portal vibrates open tonight, don't waste its energy on doubt or worry. Use it to plant seeds of conviction. Use it to enter a new identity. Use it to rewrite the script, because whether you realize it or not, your consciousness is writing it anyway. You might as well write it deliberately. The moon will not judge you, but it will magnify you. So magnify something worthy, magnify peace, magnify love, magnify power, magnify the image of the you who already has what they seek. Feel it real, walk in it mentally, own it internally, and let the world catch up. Because it will, it always does, for consciousness is the only reality. And tonight the veil is gone, the gate is open, and your destiny is waiting for your decision. Imagination is the womb of creation. Give birth to your reality under the July 12 full moon. There is a sacred power moving through the air tonight, an invisible current surging beneath the surface of things, and it is calling you inward, to the place where all true creation begins. Under the radiant light of the July 12 full moon, the veil is not just thin, it is nearly gone. This is the divine moment where the inner world speaks louder than the outer world, where the unseen becomes more potent than the seen, and where your imagination becomes the holy womb through which new realities are conceived. You do not need to search outside yourself for the answer. The creative power you've been waiting for is already within you. The images you form in your mind, the scenes you play out in the silence of your soul, and the feelings you cultivate in those imagined realities, these are not fantasies. They are the blueprints of your future. Every time you imagine something vividly and emotionally, you are planting it into the infinite field of creation. The world may not shift instantly, but the seed has been sown. And what is sown must rise. The delay is not denial. It is the unseen root taking hold before the visible fruit arrives. You are not at the mercy of your conditions. You are not limited by appearances. The full moon reveals what has been hidden, not just in the outer world, but in the sanctuary of your own inner life. What have you been imagining lately? What do you emotionally rehearse when no one is watching? That right there is your true prayer. That is the frequency you are living from, and life is responding. You do not manifest what you merely say. You manifest what you truly feel is real. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. So tonight, under this open portal, Stop asking for things and start embodying the state of the person who already has them. Stop thinking about your desire and start thinking from it. To think from the wish fulfilled is to occupy it inwardly before it arrives outwardly. And that is where the magic lies, not in hope, not in begging, but in assumption, in the quiet, confident knowing that what you see in your imagination is already yours, and that the world must rearrange itself to mirror that truth. This is the great secret of creation. You imagine it, you feel it, you believe it, and the world conforms. There is no force outside you deciding what you can or cannot have. There is only consciousness expressing itself through your inner conversations, your daily assumptions, and your emotional diet. The images you allow to take root within your mind are more real than the facts in front of you. Facts can change, circumstances can shift, but imagination, when paired with faith, is eternal. It draws the unseen into the seen. It causes what was not yet visible to become physical. Tonight's full moon carries with it an acceleration, a quickening, and anything you impress deeply upon your subconscious mind now will blossom faster than usual. This is why you must be careful, not fearful, just conscious. Guard your imagination as you would guard sacred ground. Because it is sacred, it is the divine womb where your future is conceived. If you can see it in your mind and feel it in your body, you are not hoping, you are creating, and that creation is not something you must force, it is something you must allow. The seed does not strain to become a tree, it simply knows that it is becoming one. In the same way, when you enter the imaginative state and dwell in the end, you do not need to stress or push, you simply live in the knowing. That is the power of imagination. It invites you to bypass the logical, the probable, and the statistics, and to step directly into the impossible. Under the light of this full moon, impossibility is an illusion. The only real limits are the ones you keep rehearsing in your imagination. So tonight, change the script, enter a new scene, feel the freedom of already having what you used to beg for. Touch it in your imagination. Hear it, taste it, smell it, occupy it with such clarity and intensity that your body begins to believe it is already happening. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It accepts what you emotionally dwell on as truth. So if you imagine the worst, it obeys, but if you imagine the best with bold emotion, it also obeys. You are not a passive receiver of life. You are the scriptwriter, the director, and the actor all at once. You are the living imagination of the divine, and every scene you create internally becomes your experience externally. Tonight, under this full moon, go into your silence and build the life you've been afraid to desire. Not just in theory, but in feeling. This portal is not just symbolic, it is functional, it works, but only if you work with it, only if you dare to step beyond what your eyes can see and enter what your heart already knows. The world may call it daydreaming, but you know better. This is not fantasy, it is prophecy. Your imagination is not foolish, it is divine. It is your link to the unseen, your power to transcend limitation. What you see with your inner eye is more powerful than anything the outer world can throw at you. This moon is not just shining in the sky. It is shining in your consciousness, inviting you to create without fear, to imagine without apology. Don't limit yourself to what has been. Don't repeat the past with new words. Imagine the new. Dare to create something no one else around you believes in. You don't need their agreement. You only need your alignment. When your imagination and your emotions agree, you have planted the seed. The result is inevitable. It may come in unexpected ways, through unexpected people, at an unexpected hour, but it will come, because imagination, when fused with feeling, is the womb of all things. So tonight, close your eyes, enter your mind, go to the place where all is possible. Don't just visualize, feel it real. If you want love, feel the warmth of being loved now. If you want abundance, walk through the corridors of a life that already knows financial ease. If you want healing, dwell in the joy of already being whole. Whatever your desire, don't stand outside it hoping. Step inside it knowing, and then let it go. Not because you don't care, but because you already know it's done. Let this full moon be the moment you stopped trying and started embodying. Let this portal be the womb through which your next level is born, not because you forced it, but because you imagined it. and what is imagined with emotion must be born into time. The womb of imagination is open. What will you conceive tonight? There is a sacred force alive beneath the glow of this July 12 full moon, and it does not ask you to wish, to plead, or to negotiate with life. It asks you to assume. For what you assume to be true, whether noble or unworthy, powerful or powerless, is exactly what life will reflect back to you. Assumption is not hope, it is not optimism. It is the conscious choice to claim something as already real before your senses agree. It is the law that whatever you firmly persist in inwardly must harden into fact outwardly. The world is not waiting to reward your effort, it is waiting to reflect your certainty. And tonight the portal is open, the frequency is high, and the invisible mechanics of manifestation are moving rapidly. This is not a night for small thinking. This is a night for spiritual certainty, for walking boldly in the unseen, for occupying the end of your desire with such authority that the middle must rearrange. You are not at the mercy of circumstance, you are the one who defines it. Assumption is not arrogance, it is alignment with your creative nature. It is the understanding that the outer world is plastic and the inner world is power. Your present reality is not a prison, it is a product. It is the echo of a state you once assumed and persisted in. The money you have or don't have, the relationships that thrive or collapse, the doors that open or stay shut. None of it is random. It is all the natural outpicturing of what you accepted as real within yourself. And the greatest tragedy is not misfortune, it is unconscious assumption. To assume the worst, to dwell in lack, to prepare for heartbreak, to fear failure. These are also assumptions. The law does not judge your beliefs, it only expresses them. Tonight, under this moon, your assumptions are being supercharged. The thoughts you persist in now, the feelings you repeat, the identity you secretly agree with, all of these are being pressed into the fertile soil of the subconscious. And what is impressed will be expressed. You do not have to force it, manipulate it, or chase it. You simply need to enter the state of the end and dwell there in quiet faith, knowing the outer must yield. Assumption is creation. When you assume something with full emotional conviction, you are speaking to the universe in its native language. The subconscious does not respond to begging, it responds to belief. It responds to the inner tone of already done. This is why so many fail to manifest. They affirm things while secretly assuming the opposite. They say I am rich while inwardly assuming struggle. They declare I am loved while inwardly assuming rejection. But life does not listen to your words. It listens to your state, and state is assumption. Tonight you are invited into a new state of being. Not one you will enter someday, but one you will become now. Not later, not when conditions improve, but now in this moment of quiet, sacred decision. Choose your end and step into it. Let it clothe you, let it speak through you, let it shape your mood. This is the secret doorway through which miracles enter. The power of assumption lies in its persistence. It is not a fleeting fantasy. It is a steady inner knowing. You must remain faithful to the state you have chosen, even when nothing outside confirms it. Especially when nothing confirms it, for that is the test of faith. Can you remain loyal to your vision when the world offers no evidence? That loyalty is the fire in which old realities burn and new ones are born. The moon tonight is the silent witness to your transformation. It watches without judgment and amplifies whatever you hold. If you hold fear, it expands it. If you hold power, it magnifies it. So choose wisely. Choose consciously. Assume the highest, not because of ego, but because your soul remembers who you are. Your assumptions create the mold into which life must pour itself. This is not mystical, it is mechanical. It is the structure of reality itself. Think of a potter who shapes clay. The clay is your world, the mold is your assumption. If your mold is shaped by lack, the clay cannot take the form of abundance. If your mold is shaped by fear, the clay cannot take the form of love. So tonight, under this celestial gateway, reshape the mold. Assume that what you desire is already yours, not as a wish, but as a fact. See it done, feel it real, walk in it, speak from it, act as if, not because you're pretending, but because you know that assumption precedes form. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are not waiting for evidence. You are the evidence in progress. The beauty of assumption is that it liberates you from time. You no longer wait for things to change before you feel different. You change your feeling first, and then the world follows. Time collapses when you occupy the end. People show up, doors swing open, opportunities emerge, not because you chased them, but because you assumed your way into them. This is the law, not a man-made rule, but a spiritual law etched into the fabric of creation. You are always assuming something, so why not assume what you actually desire? Why not declare yourself victorious now? Why not assume healing, wealth, union, success, and peace now, before the world gives you permission? That is the power of this moon. It is not a permission slip. It is a spiritual catalyst. It says, what do you believe is true for you? And then it waits for your answer, not through your words, but through your state. So, what is your state tonight? Are you the struggler, or the one who has already overcome? Are you the seeker, or the one who is found? Are you the outsider, or the one already at the table? You choose. That's the miracle. You always get to choose, but once you choose, persist. Do not look to the world to confirm it. Look within, feel the tone of your assumption, stay there, live there, let it become your new dwelling place. And life obediently will bend to match it. It may come subtly or suddenly, but it will come, because assumption, when persisted in, hardens into fact. The full moon does not lie, and neither does the law. The only question is, will you dare to believe before you see? Will you dare to walk in the end before the beginning makes sense? This is not fantasy. It is alignment. This is not delusion. It is destiny claimed in advance. The world does not need more reactors. It needs more creators, more choosers, more masters of assumption who know that reality is not something to survive, but something to shape. And tonight, you are being handed the chisel, the clay, and the canvas. The question is not what is possible. The question is, what are you assuming? Because whatever you assume, that will be your experience, not because the stars decide it, but because you do. The portal is open. The moon is full. The law is alive now. Assume, persist, and watch the facts change. Emotion is not weakness. It is not background noise. It is the signal that shapes your world, the frequency that calls reality into being. Under the divine light of the July 12 full moon, the power of emotion becomes magnified, amplified, undeniable. It is no longer a passive response to life. It becomes the force that designs it. Whatever you feel most often, most deeply, most consistently, is what you pull toward you like a magnet. This full moon is not just an invitation to wish. It is a spiritual command to feel, not to react emotionally to what you see, but to feel deliberately from the place of what you want to see. This is the secret most overlooked. You don't manifest from logic. You manifest from emotion. It is not enough to think good thoughts. It is not enough to recite empty affirmations. The words you speak must be infused with the emotion of truth, with the tone of certainty, with the vibration of I know this is mine. When you combine your intention with emotional conviction, the entire universe bends to reflect that feeling state back to you in form, timing, people, and circumstance. The law of life responds not to your surface level thinking, but to your dominant vibration. And your vibration is shaped by your emotions. Under this full moon, the gateway between feeling and form becomes direct and responsive. The energy is quick. Your emotions are more than moods now. They are declarations. They are instructions to the quantum field. If you feel unworthy, you block abundance. If you feel abandoned, you repel love. If you feel like you're always struggling, you keep repeating that struggle. This is not because you're cursed or broken. It's because your emotional baseline is attracting a mirror. Life reflects your inner world, not to punish you, but to wake you up to the emotional tones you've been dwelling in. The good news, you can change the channel. You can shift the frequency. You can choose again. Tonight is not a time to suppress or numb your feelings. It is a time to understand them. Feelings are messengers. They are feedback. They are the compass pointing to where you've been living internally, and the moon tonight, full and luminous, offers a moment of powerful recalibration. It says, what are you feeling right now? Because what you feel is what you are becoming. Let this be the night you stop treating emotion like an afterthought and begin treating it like the steering wheel. Let this be the night you stop using your feelings to react and start using them to create. Instead of saying, "I'll feel abundant when I have more," say, "I'll feel abundant now, and more will come." Instead of saying, "I'll feel loved when I meet someone," say, "I'll feel loved now, and my person will meet me in that vibration." This is not delusion, it is divine intelligence. It is the spiritual law that the inner must precede the outer. Every breakthrough begins with a shift in emotional state. Every healing begins with a decision to stop feeding the feeling of brokenness. Every miracle starts when someone says, "I choose to feel joy now, even if I can't see the reason." That choice, that audacity to feel ahead of evidence, is what unlocks the door. Emotion is energy in motion. If you remain in the energy of defeat, that's what stays in motion. If you shift into gratitude, courage, love, and expectation, the current begins to move toward what matches that inner tone. And make no mistake, your body believes your emotions. Your nervous system, your cells, your subconscious, they all respond to what you feel. That is why you can't fake it. The universe knows the difference between performance and embodiment. It knows when you're saying, "I'm fine," but feeling anxious. It knows when you're saying, "I trust," but feeling desperate. You manifest not what you say, but what you radiate. And tonight, as the full moon opens this powerful gateway, you are being invited to radiate something new. Something higher, something truer to your divine nature, not based on appearances, but based on the reality you are choosing to create. You do not need to wait for the perfect circumstances to feel peace. You create the circumstances by choosing peace now. You do not need someone to show up to feel loved. You feel loved, and then the right people show up. The outer always bows to the inner. This is the magnetic force of emotion. It pulls into your life that which matches its frequency. This is not about toxic positivity. It's not about suppressing sadness or pretending to be happy. It's about choosing your emotional home. Yes, feel your emotions fully. Let them rise. Let them move through. But do not build a house in fear. Do not stay parked in sorrow. Do not rehearse anger until it becomes your identity. Move through these states, but do not become them. Under this full moon, you are being shown what you've become emotionally attached to. Some of those attachments are empowering, some are not. The work tonight is to release the emotional habits that no longer serve you and to choose new emotional signatures that match your highest timeline. That means letting go of the inner dialogues that say, "It's always hard," or "I'm always left behind," or "Nothing ever works out for me." These stories carry emotional energy, and the more you feel them, the more you recreate them. So tonight, begin to feel something different, even if your mind protests, even if your eyes see the opposite. Go deeper. Tap into the divine truth within you that already knows the outcome, that knows you are loved, worthy, guided, and abundant now. The heart does not need proof. The heart needs permission. And when you give yourself permission to feel as though it is already done, the mind begins to calm, the body begins to relax, and the vibration begins to shift. This shift is not small, it is monumental, because the moment you feel differently, you start attracting different results. The outer world will begin to shift, not because it was forced, but because it was magnetized. This full moon is your mirror. It is showing you what you've been broadcasting emotionally, and it is giving you a sacred opportunity to realign. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are their master. You can choose what you dwell in. You can decide what story you tell with your feelings, and you can anchor yourself in the emotional signature of the life you choose to live. So take this night seriously. Sit with yourself, close your eyes, feel the life you desire as if it is already here. Let your body respond, let your heart soften, let the tears come if they must, let the smile rise if it will, but stay in the emotion of the wish fulfilled. Because that feeling, that frequency, is doing more than making you feel good. It is designing your future. Emotion is not extra, it is essential, it is not soft, it is supernatural, and tonight, under the July 12 full moon, it becomes your greatest creative tool. Use it wisely, feel it deeply, and watch the world shape itself around your inner fire. The most powerful truth you will ever come to know is that you are always creating. There is no off switch, no pause button, no moment where you stop manifesting. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are continuously shaping your life through your thoughts, your assumptions, your emotional states, and your inner conversations. This truth does not discriminate. It applies to every soul in every moment. And under the supernatural glow of the July 12 full moon, this eternal law becomes intensely visible. The veil is lifted. The results of your inner world are being amplified and mirrored back with greater speed and clarity. This moon does not ask you what you want. It asks what you have chosen, for every state of consciousness is a choice, and every choice becomes a cause, and every cause produces an effect. You are the cause. You are the spark. You are the creative force breathing life into form, whether you recognize it or not. And this full moon shines not only to bless you, but to awaken you, to remind you that the world you see is a reflection of what you have accepted, believed, and sustained internally. The question now is not can you create, but what are you creating? You must begin to realize that your life is not a random series of events, but a perfect reflection of your persistent inner conversations. If your dominant inner dialogue is laced with fear, doubt, inferiority, or guilt, then the experiences that follow will only reinforce those feelings. But if your inner world is saturated with confidence, peace, gratitude, and expectation, then your outer world must reflect that too. This is not karma, it is creation. This is not fate, it is law. You are always projecting something into the world around you, and life, as a faithful servant, echoes it back. This is why the July 12 portal is so critical. It opens a window of heightened awareness and manifestation, where the speed between thought and reality shortens, and your creations arrive with less resistance. It is a divine reminder to stop living unconsciously. Stop thinking thoughts you don't want to experience. Stop imagining outcomes you don't want to live through. Stop rehearsing old pain as if it still holds power. Every image you dwell on, every word you repeat internally, every mood you allow to become familiar, these are the building blocks of your future. You do not get to stop creating, but you do get to choose what you create. That is your power, that is your divine inheritance. This is the moment to take full accountability for your mental diet. What are you feeding your mind? What kind of thoughts do you permit to live rent-free in your consciousness? Are they aligned with your highest vision or tethered to your lowest fear? Because make no mistake, those thoughts are not innocent. They are blueprints. They are instructions to the universe. And tonight, under the amplified light of this full moon, they are being received more powerfully than ever before. You are transmitting energy with every breath, and the field around you is responding. If you believe yourself to be unlucky, life will agree. If you declare yourself blessed, life will find ways to prove it. You are always writing the script. The scene you are rehearsing in your mind right now is already casting characters and arranging settings. Choose the scene you want to live. Feel it, own it, walk in it, even if nothing outside supports it. Especially then, this is the spiritual responsibility of creation, to not just hope for change, but to become it. To no longer be the passive observer, but the active participant. When you understand that your outer world is a printout of your inner software, you stop blaming and start editing. You stop fighting with appearances and start revising the state of consciousness that produced them. You look at the bank account, and instead of reacting, you revise. You look at the illness, and instead of accepting it as final, you revise. You look at the delay, the heartbreak, the betrayal, and you refuse to let them define you. Because you know you are the one choosing, and therefore you can choose differently. You can rise above the old version of you who created that situation. You can align with a higher state, the version of you that already has peace, joy, love, abundance, and success already exists. You don't have to build that version, you only have to shift into it, and shifting happens through awareness, through emotion, through assumption, and through repetition. So tonight, ask yourself, what have I been imagining consistently? What do I accept as normal in my inner world? What state am I choosing to dwell in without even realizing it? If you want to know, look at your life. It is always telling you the truth. Every pattern, every recurring experience, every repeated emotion, these are not punishments. They are feedback. They are the universe showing you what you've been sustaining internally. But the beauty of this law is that it can be rewritten. It is never too late to choose again. It is never too late to shift your state. You can begin right now. You don't need to wait until morning. You don't need to wait for a sign. The sign is this full moon. The portal is open. The energy is aligned. All that's required is your decision. Choose new thoughts. Choose new inner conversations. Choose to forgive. Choose to release. Choose to embody the end result. Do not wait for the outer world to change. Be the change, and the world must reflect it. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a master of consciousness, and consciousness is not passive. It is active, alive, dynamic, and always creating. The world you see is simply the residue of the world you've entertained internally. If you change the internal reality, the external must shift. It is law. It is done unto you as you believe, not what you pretend to believe, but what you actually accept as true deep within. So don't just speak the words. Enter the feeling. Don't just visualize the scene, dwell in the state. Don't just wish for change. Live it in imagination until it becomes your default vibration. And when it does, nothing can stop the manifestation. It may seem to come suddenly, but it was always a result of the unseen work, the unseen choosing. This is your divine opportunity. The full moon does not favor the few, it empowers the faithful. It does not respond to desperation. It responds to decision. So decide tonight what you are no longer available for. Decide what you are now aligning with, and decide who you are going to be from this point forward. Because who you are being now is shaping what you are experiencing next. You are the seed, the soil, and the sunlight. You are the author, the actor, and the audience. You are the consciousness out of which all things flow, and your creation never stops, so choose wisely. Choose boldly, choose beautifully, and under this sacred moon, let life rise to meet you in the reality your soul has already claimed.